What is up, YouTube? As you can see, we're hopping straight into RTA. We're doing a little bit of a different format. No cam, just focus. And I'll just be recording, 3 or 4 matches or 5, depending on how long they're going to be. Just going over my thought process and drafting. And obviously, RB just got buffed, so today we're going to try to play some of that. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you guys enjoy this kind of format or not. Now, he goes live P1 here with Janua Luna pre-ban. So what does that tell me, right? Janua usually tells me if they ban this, it's either they're playing Yufine Laya, and Laya Yufine Carmen is pretty oppressive, right? So I'm gonna go with DDR here, and I have 2. So I'm gonna go with the effectiveness DDR so I can reliably land the Venoms. And then he still has Monk available if I pick 2 passive here, so I want to take a Tywin here, which is going to give me a little bit of protection in terms of mitigation with Aureus and protection set. But not only that, if he does go Monk on 3, I do have an option to fall back on cleansing the vines, right? So there's a Candy coming out with Carmen as we expected. We were expecting a Yufine, not a Candy, but I digress. So right now he has 1 cleanse with Laya, so if we take Monk into Laya here, maybe it's not super optimal, but if we don't take anything that's okay into Monk 4-5, the threat of Monk herself is sometimes more powerful than the character herself, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but if we don't take it, we still have A-Tai covered, we still have 1 more cleanse to take here. So what I'm going to opt for here is I want a unit that can kind of cover all of this, right? So Monk's going to give me 1 strip, DDR's 2 strips, so I'm actually just going to take Monk here and force him to respond into me here. And not only that, I want to take a character that can fight versus top 3, right? And Fire Rabbit is okay, but she's a bit too slow at 168 speed. So I'm going to opt to go with something a little bit faster and maybe go for like a Gala here. Because Gala can kind of chain with everything else, right? And immediately you can see that he's taking the Lua to speed contest me so that he can go for the resets and kind of disrupt my team in terms of my tuning, which is a really strong pick overall. Now, he's hovering Ravi. I don't think he's going to be locking that in, but we're most likely going to be banning Lua here because the first turn for us is extremely important. If we get reset, we're going to miss 1 whole rotation, which is just not optimal. And Lua Laya obviously is a very strong combination. Now, depending on what he's going to pick here, I think, whenever you're on a P5 here, you want to think to yourself, what do I need? Do I need more cleanse, damage, mitigation? I have mitigation, I have disruptors. He doesn't have a lot of disruption, like crowd control, so I can opt to take maybe like some damage. I can try to punish this, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go for a LCB, right? LCB is gonna be able to punish this with AoE and kind of fight this too, since we're gonna be banning the Lua, right? So I'm gonna be taking LCB here, and I'm gonna be banning the Lua like I mentioned. Now, obviously, whenever you're playing Gala into Laya Carmen, it's really important that you actually decide to S3 into the Laya over the Carmen. And the reason for that is because, there is a lot of degen Carmens out there that are like 20k HP, so you won't full pen. But we were able to get the LCB through, which is great. So now I want to go release Imprint to give my team a little bit more survivability, and I'm going to go into the fight here. Now, something to pay attention to is looking at the turn order, right? So we do take the turn before Laya, so I do want to just go for an S3 here. I can bind this this Navy Captain Landy, and if he does decide to cleanse with Laya on the first turn, what's going to happen is he's going to run into a problem where my DDR is right behind him. And if my DDR is right behind him, that means I can strip him right after. And this procs his Sweet Miracle, so he actually holds it and drags Stene. And now I have kind of complete freedom to do what I want. I can just go for a sleep, I can go for S2, I can debrief with a Tywin. I have a lot of tempo now. Since he can no longer cleanse with Sweet Miracle from the Laya, since we already procced it on the opening turn. Now, I can go for an S3 to go for the D-break, or I can go for an S1, but because we already procced Sweet Miracle on Laya, I'm just going to rip the S3 anyways. Yeah, we don't have Rage, but I do have effectiveness buff, and you should usually have some effectiveness on your A Tywin build regardless. And you can see that we actually got the defense break on Candy and on Laya, but not on the Carmen. And because Carmen's already reset from Nakwa, as you can see here, we don't really need to worry about her at this current point in time. And because Laya's her only cleanser, I'm just going to go for an S3 on Laya since it's death broken. And we could have killed Landy as well, but Landy that's binded, can't proc Elbrus, can't proc counter. I mean, she's just really not contributing much to the draft, right? And at this point, I'm just going to S1 Laya to try to get her out of the game sooner than later. With the Venom stacking, of course. And Carmen's going to S1, which is going to proc the LCB to do a lot of damage and finish off the Laya here. And And as you can see here, this is just a complete masterclass of basically just, in simpler terms, just shitting on him. And I'm just gonna go for an S2 and he's gonna FF. You know, super clean, super clean. Not a lot to say there. And I think my draft was really strong there, right? I punished him with, you know, the proper picks. I took a lot of the tempo out of the draft. I drafted LCB, which was really strong, into his entire team with a force ban in mind, so it was really good. Now, I'm not really sure who this is. That is a really nice profile card, though. And I'm going to be banning Luna and Polly. And the reason for that is because Luna is just kind of OP. And you can see that a lot of people are banning Luna at the moment as well, since there isn't really any reliable answer, given that she can be built on a variety of builds, right? She can be 315, 300, you know, 290, 240 with 28k HP. She's just very versatile right now. So he's going for a DDR open here. Now, if he's going DDR open with Janua pre-ban, what does that tell us, right? Janua is obviously a really strong Yufine counter. So I'm going to take a cleanser here, and a lot of people think, oh, we're going to go light into DDR. I mean, why not, right? It gives me a cleanser, it gives me win con, gives me tempo. It's a really good unit overall. So we're going to take the Laya here. And we do want to have some form of cleanse and be protected against Monk, as always. So we're going to actually go with A Tywin here. And not only that, A Tywin also gives us some supplemental cleansing, right? Even if they don't go Monk on P3 or T2 or P4 or P5, we're still going to have a little bit of flexibility in using him if, say, we provoke something and we can get a cleanse off. It's very clutch. Now we respond with Candy 2 and Conqueror Lilius. So anytime you see Conqueror Lilius and Candy into a Laya, they're most likely setting up a Spez. But because if he goes like Arrow Spez here, I can just ban the stun, right? So right now, what is he really lacking? He's lacking mitigation, right? So I can try to punish him. I could take like a Zeo here to basically deny Conqueror Lilius from her first turn, which is not terrible, to be honest. And I think that's what I'm going to opt for. I'm going to go for Zeo to lock down the Conqueror Lilius here so I can guarantee the first turn. And I can take Knockwall as well, which can really disrupt his team here. But I do need to be careful because I might be weak to him running cleansers and stuff like that. So right now I actually think Monk's actually okay. I'm going to offer Lua. The reason I'm going to take Lua over Monk is because Conqueror Lilius most likely is going to be faster than your Knockwall. Which means if I take Zeo Knockwall, he has a lot of room to play around the Zeo, right? So he can do some kind of weird, you know, buff stacking business. He can be an ER shoe. There's a lot of things that he can do, but taking the Lua, I can Soulburn S3 to ignore ER to just kind of disrupt his entire draft. It's very unlikely that he's going to be on a protection set Fire Lilius, right? So he has to take a pick that can kind of disrupt the Lua here. And he goes for Fire Lilius, so double Lilius game, pretty interesting. As of right now, I don't know if you guys are thinking about the same unit as I'm thinking, but I'm thinking LCB, and he takes the Aiden in preparation of an LCB potential pick coming through. Now, what I can do here is, I do have Laya win con. He has a lot of dual attacks, so I think actually Rowana will be really good here, right? I think Rowana's pretty solid. I can always ban the Lilius or can ban the DDR. But as of right now, I'm expecting him to ban the Rowana because he's got dual attack, salvo, dual attack, counter, right? He's got a lot of dual attacks, so Rowana's definitely a force ban for him. So I'm actually going to ban the Lilius here because he has to ban the Rowana to win the game. And I'm going to make sure my imprints are in order. So probably want to give my Zeo the memory imprint from the A Tywin. And we're basically just going to give it a go. Hopefully he doesn't counter too much. This game can kind of go either way. And we're going to really quickly find out. It's also retry ever. We're going to really quickly find out if he's an ER Conqueror Lilius or not. I'd like to hope that he's not. But Retry Ever is really known to play the Conk Candy line, and you can see his Elbrus is immediately going off, which is kind of scary if you ask me. So right now I can just Soulburn S3. I don't want to S2 because that can trigger another counter, and that'll put me in a really disadvantageous position. So I'm just going to go for a Soulburn S3 to stick all the Beguiles and reset the DDR so we can't have as much value from the opening first rotation. And I am just going to go for an S1 on Conqueror Lilius. And the reason we're choosing Conqueror Lilius, of course he procs another Elbrus, unfortunately. But the reason why we want to go into Conqueror Lilius, you know, anytime you fight Conqueror Lilius, you want to kind of take her out of the game as soon as possible, right? And the reason for that is if you don't have a character that can bind, what's going to happen is she's going to be dual attacking non-stop, right? Pulling Candy, pulling Aiden, even pulling DDR, right? Sleeping characters. That is very disruptive. And you definitely want to take them out sooner than later, otherwise you're going to be in for a world of pain. And we can see that the DDR is actually a wondrous potion vial, so cleansing the Beguile off of the Aiden. You know, not a whole lot to see here. I'm just going to go for an S1 on the DDR, since he's already provoked into my...
This is it. I'll cover you.
8, okay. Well, his Candy's kind of popping off. So, this is not very good. Because, if he S3s into my Zeo, it's gonna die. And he already has, Candy ready somehow on the second turn. Which is, of course, just kind of bad RNG, but... You know, sometimes, that's gonna happen, you know?
You really want your blood spilled?
So I think here I'm probably just gonna go for a sleep on DDR if I want to have a chance. Because if he is able to get the Beguile off, or not the Beguile, the sleep and the Venoms and stuff, I'm gonna be in for a lot of trouble here. Now that's pretty good. I'm gonna just actually reset for my Lua here. Get some better tempo here since his DDR is asleep at the moment. Now, my Zeo, unless I get Elburst here, I should be able to snipe this Conquer Lilius out of the game and gain 50 CR. Now, Candy is going to have that S3 available, which is quite scary, but if it stuns, it's going to be cleansed by my A-Tywin, which is what I'm hoping for here. And my A-Tywin on mitigation as Aureus is most likely going to die, unfortunately. And you can see, yep, I am very much so dead. And now we are in a bit of a pickle. I either have to hit Aiden or Candy, and I'm definitely going to hit Candy and hope he doesn't counter. And he countered. Well, I think this game is pretty much over. Oh, not a lot to see here. He got a Candy S3 before I could even get a second turn with all my units, so sometimes you just lose to RNG, you know? Not a lot you can really do about it, to be honest. Even though I wish I could have counterplayed him. But I digress. We'll move on to the next game here. But hopefully with these kind of videos that are coming back out, you guys can kind of see the thought process behind, you know, why I'm doing certain things and why I'm picking units at certain slots. It goes Payra, Ran, pre-ban. Anytime you see this, it's most likely a Sea Phantom Politis abuser, and we already pre-banned that, so I'm not super scared. I'll take Lai as a neutral open here. And I know some people in the comments or someone's gonna say, why pick Laya if DDR is open? It's not pre-banned. Well, you can always fight against DDR, right? I personally don't have Emil Sharoon, but some people do, and that's a really great option into Emil Sharoon. You can take B-Dom on P3 since it's an extra turn, so he actually does take the DDR here. I'm expecting, like, okay, so green. So I don't love what he opened with because he's really weak to Knockwall right now, right? So I'm gonna take mitigation, and you're gonna see a common trend here where I'm gonna take the A-Tywin. And the reason I take A-Tywin is if I play Monk and he takes A-Tywin, he gets mitigation and cleanse versus me, right? Whereas now I take the neutral pick going into the Knockwall as mitigation for him, and I'm really just denying him. And he has two options, right? He can either pick defensively and reactively, like the B-Dom, or he can kind of take more tempo and play aggressive. But it looks like he's opting to play the more defensive style here. Now, he does have 3 units that will need to press buttons to trigger non-attack skills. So what I could actually do is maybe run like a Fire Politis on Degen. I think that would be extremely disruptive for him. Yeah, that is honestly, you know, maybe something that we will do. I could also run an RB, actually. Ironically enough, I think we can actually try to debut him, since he did just get an exclusive equipment from Hall of Trials, which I think is, let's just say I don't think he's super balanced. I don't think it was really necessary, but I digress. Hopefully, let's see what he picks here. RB's kind of before spend, right? He's no extinction. Alright, we're gonna go RB here. I don't care about Edward. Why? Because I have A-Tywin, right? Even if I press, I bind everything, I reset them, he hits into me, I'm gonna cleanse. So we'll take RB. RB is obviously very problematic for him. And furthermore, I can probably just go with Requiem Rowana. Because the thing about Requiem Rowana here is she's a really aggressive pick that can play off of my Knockwall here on P3, which is ban protected. And I know for a fact that most of these units are not going to be 285 plus, right? Unless they're paying like some crazy 300 speed beat on like December, then I'll, you know, I might get fucked. But we're gonna ban last pick since we drafted for that. And yeah, we're just basically gonna go balls to the wall with our RB. And if this is on a so if I S3, I give him skill nullifier. That's not very good. I'm just gonna S2 here. Now I can just push my RB and just go for a kill, which is what I'm gonna do here. Celine does get activated, but if it kills my RB, that's great. It actually goes on Laya, which is not terrible. He does get the Soulburn S3 now, which can most likely take out my Laya, but I'm hoping that my RB is gonna have enough value here. And we'll see it right here. We did not proc Gab, unfortunately, but I will get an S3 off. Big damage coming out. It's actually on counter Pip at Lance. Interesting. So now DDR gets to play. It's a little bit scary, but you can see that if I proc Gab, I probably would have killed one. Like, I'm running like 4.2k, 290, 250 speed crit damage. So I definitely have a lot of damage, but now we're in a pretty bad spot. Since we don't actually have any way of cleansing anymore. So that's not very good, but we'll see. I do still have the knockwall available, so I could always just S1 into the Ed to wake me up and try to get a turn that way. But we're definitely not in a very good spot, I'll tell you that much. We're not looking good. He actually gets to sleep on me, so I don't get to play the game. Unfortunate. And Ed's going to be able to S1 freely into my Monk, which feels pretty bad as well. Celine's going to hit me. Doesn't crit, but the DDR-S1 is going to be able to kill me anyways. So since my my RB missed a turn here, I'm actually just going to go for an S3 here. And just hopefully I get countered. And see if I get any stuns or anything, since I do have some effectiveness on my A-Tai win. Looks like he's not on a nuke build for the RB, so my RB pick is actually being really bad here. Well, something like that. I'm making a very bad representation of RB, I guess, at the moment. But sometimes that's just kind of how the game goes. But he will be able to hopefully come back. Unfortunately, I don't have any souls to soul burn with Gab, so that part sucks. And I don't really think I'm going to be able to one-shot him, so this game is probably over. Yeah, it's probably over. This will detonate, or he's going to go with Ed here. Yeah, we're looking very dead. Unless my RB somehow kills him. I don't see us winning this one very much. Did proc Gab, but Celine has stealth, so I'm probably dead. Unless I just evade every hit, which is very unlikely. Well, yeah, I'm dead. Actually, does he miss? I do have evasion. He has blind.
Should I show you my secret weapon?
But I think this kills 2 miss. Yeah, not a lot to see here. Well, as you can see, the RB pick wasn't exactly the best. If I proc Gab on that first turn, I think I actually had a chance, but unfortunately I did not. So, not much I could have done. That RB pick definitely was not the best, but might as well whip him out while he's got buffed, right? Why not? That's what we're here to see anyways. So, looks like it's Genua Knockwall pre-ban. Tells me he wants to play Laya Yufine, most likely. There's the Laya. I'm gonna respond with DDR to try to land some Venom to try to, you know, disrupt them a bit. Knockwall's banned, so A-Tai win here is actually not super important, right? I can also take the Yufine here since he banned Knockwall. That does open the door for A-Tai though, but we're gonna try it. A lot of the times, and based on the players that I read on E7GG, anytime there's a Genua ban, it almost seems like Yufine is taken on that 1-2 slot. I don't really know if that's the wisest thing to do, per se, but, you know, these players are definitely higher elo than me, and they've proven that it's quite good, so I digress. So A-Tai win is going to be coming out, because obviously if I Elbrus, he gets rage instantly, which can be pretty bad. Now it goes with ML Sharoon here. If he goes ML Sharoon, I think AOL is actually quite powerful here. I'm gonna go AOL most likely. AOL because if he S3s, I can cleanse and I can put unblind and stuff, or unbuffable and silence, which can deny his cascade. So I'm gonna go for that. I kind of want some mitigation with Yufine, if I want to have a fighting chance. But let me see. Gotta go hand guy. I kind of need some cleanse right now, right? I have damage. Some mitigation or cleanse would be good. I have one cleanser. Some mitigation wouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna try my hand at LRK. If there's anything I've learned from World Cup qualifiers for Korea, LRK actually seems pretty good into a Taiwan if you have tempo. And I do have DDR tempo, which is not terrible, but it's also not exactly optimal, one might say. But the team-wide immunity for 2 turns is pretty big. He takes Gala to punish me here, right? So that might be worth banning. Very likely. Because if he deletes my tank right away, it's going to be pretty hard to win the game. But I want to take something that can maybe threaten him. Lionheart Sermia. Lionheart Sermia. I'm definitely banning this. I'm definitely banning Gala. If I let that Gala through, I'm cooked. So I'm going to go for Green Celine. So it's Green Celine. Lionheart can non-attack. I can kill her through her defense buff. If she presses S2, I can kill her as well. So I'm going to ban Gala here. And he's most likely going to ban Celine too, I expect. I don't imagine him letting the Celine through, because I would be able to just delete one unit right off the bat, which would be really, really, really bad for him. And at this point, right, even if he S2s with Laya and then presses S3 and all that stuff, I'm going to get a bunch of CR, right? And then Yufine's also cutting that CR gain as well, which is pretty big for us here. So is he banning Celine? Oh, he actually bans mitigation. That's surprising. So in this case, I'm going to release Imprint because they're most likely not on any ER at all. So yeah, let's pray the best. Pray for the best.
Worry not.
He actually doesn't get the first turn. That's kind of surprising. So I'm going to S2. And then I'm going to S1 to push back the Laya, and I actually dual attacked. That triggers my Celine though, so I might be able to just straight up kill her. And yeah. He does have Cascade now, which is kind of scary, but the good thing is I can just delete his DPS. And then now he has to fight Yufine, and I have Cleanse for his AoE from Sharoon, so it's not a terrible spot to be in. Now let's see how he plays this. He does rip the S3, which means I'm going to get defense broken on DDR and on my Yufine. And there it is. I cleanse the D-break off. Laya does have S2, so he is going to be able to chain CC me with the S2 if he wants to, or he can just S1 and then let A-Tai go, since nothing's really disrupting the turn order here. But if you look at this match right now, it's looking pretty advantageous for me, I would say. Yeah, we'll see. It depends on how many debuffs he lands here. My Celine does have evasion and skill null, so hopefully that actually does something. And we are stunned, unfortunately, and now I'm going to rip S3. The S3 doesn't do much other than the fact that he's no longer going to be able to cascade if I ever get a turn to, you know, stun or sleep with DDR. Unfortunately, we didn't get the unbuffable on the A-Tai, which means he is going to be able to proc Rage to get a 100% chance to stun through effect resistance. And then my Celine's going to get Secret Art Storm Sword here. Now, right now his draft is kind of one of those where it's just death by 1,000 pricks or 1,000 needles. Not a very fun position for me to be in, to be completely honest, but I'm going to go S1 on Laya here since I still have the Venom. Let that injury start cooking a bit. Now, Laya does have one more turn before she has Soulburn S3, which is obviously very scary. My Yufine Elbrus is very asleep right now at the moment. Surely we're going to get one here though, I hope. Hoping, praying, hoping, praying. Maybe, hoping, praying. Stuns the Yufine. Oh, I lose 2 turns right away. Now I can't Elbrus for sure. Still pretty winnable. If I kill this Laya with Celine, we're in an okay spot. But obviously he is coming for my neck real soon. Now, because he hasn't seen any Elbrus come from my Yufine, he might actually not go for the Yufine, right? Because if it's Holy Sack, he's just kind of wasting a turn. So I think he might actually go AOL here. Let's see if he makes the right play. He does not make the right play. That's pretty bad. Well, now my Yufine can probably proc Elbrus, hopefully. Anytime now. Anytime. AOL is gonna cleanse D-Brick off, but anytime one's coming right around. Can I get a counter? So we're still not gonna get an Elbrus or a counter. That's very interesting. He does have S3 now with a Tywin, which is stun D-Break me. But it will let my Yufine be 100% fighting spirit, so I don't know if he will do that. He actually holds it. Okay. Gets the rage again. I do push him back. But yeah, sometimes the matches just go like this, where you just never Elbrus. Okay, I didn't Elbrus again. That's a bit surprising. I assure you that games usually don't go like this. I'm supposed. Wow, I'm kind of lost for words, honestly. Yeah, I'm kind of lost for words. Wow. Huh. Yeah, Yufine. You know, any time now. You know, in case you want to show up. Any time now. I believe he still does have Sweet Miracle, so I'm kind of in a bad spot. And he's just gonna kill me slowly, and now I don't even proc because I'm not Holy Sack. Well, not a lot to see here, guys. Maybe you guys can count how many hits I didn't get Elbrus, but yeah, I didn't Elbrus once. Let's just double check if I have Elbrus on Yufine, because that seems a bit weird. I see. That explains a lot. Okay, never mind. That's kind of embarrassing. Well then. We'll do one more match. Video's getting around to the 30-minute mark, but damn. Well, I guess I can't complain then, can I? I guess I'm not really allowed to complain. He banned Briar. Tells me he's probably playing a lot of Blood Moon Haste. Man, that kind of sucks. Oh, we'll play the Laya here. Again, it's pretty neutral open. I mean, I've said it many times before. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. The Knockwall P1? With the Blood Moon Haste? I mean, this is kind of illegal. I'm gonna go a Tywin. That covers me from Monk S3, and I'm gonna take a fast unit like Ran.
Show me what you can do.
Now Zio obviously is available, so if he locks the Zio here, it's gonna be kind of hard.
Can give you is death.
Actually takes RB
Are you doubting me?
plus Elena. RB plus Elena. I think it's a Requiem Moana angle, since I can guarantee the turn. And then what else can I go here? I need another bridge for Ran. Maybe Fire Poly. Fire Poly is gonna deny him from. Okay, well we're banning last. That we don't even need to think twice. We're banning last, right? The double evasion is not exactly ideal. And yeah, we're just gonna slam it and pray for the best, I guess. I did change over to a nuke Politis on speed boots, so maybe that means something. This is a Giga Degen RB, it seems. Double-edged Decrescent. You don't really love seeing that, do we? Not really. We're gonna Soulburn S3 here. Hopefully we land Stigma and Defense Break. We actually hit the RB but miss crit. Free to play, by the way. If this hits with Fire Poly onto the Death Broken RV, that'd be most ideal. We do, but that is actually quite degen, so not much I could have done there. I guess I'm just gonna actually Soulburn S1 on the Blood Moon Haze to try to get rid of him. And then I'm going to S1 here. Try to finish him off. And then I'm going to... I go for an S3 here. I'm gonna go for an S3 here. Sorry, my grandma had just asked me a question. So I'm gonna S3 here, kill the Monk. I kill the RB. RB's gonna come back. Oh, that's actually really bad for him. Because my Poly's on field, he actually doesn't take the turn before the Elena, so he actually loses the invincibility. Which means, if he blinds my Poly, which he most likely will, I guess my Tywin can play the game, but let's see if he has enough damage to kill me. I'm assuming he does. He does not. Well, my Rona is going to take 10 light years to actually get a turn, so that's not very good. But assuming my Rona gets a turn eventually, we'll probably be able to play the game. He will be able to cleanse one buff, just a stun. So I gotta provoke him here. It's all gonna come down to my Tywin, I guess. Rowana does still have S3 though. She is coming around the corner, so not a terrible spot to be in actually. I can either S3 or just Soulburn S1 on RB and he'll die. So I'm probably just gonna Soulburn S1. It'll do more damage than S3. Even on a miss, he actually countered on the last hit. And then I didn't proc because I missed. Wow. Well, isn't this just embarrassing? Isn't this just embarrassing? My goodness. I should lap this RB, so I'm actually just gonna go on the Elena to try to chip her down. Does he have S3? Ah, man, this game is just sometimes just too much for me, man. Well, Rana missed on the last hit, means I die, so guess that'll do it. GG's. Well, not exactly the kind of session I was hoping for. We got 4 losses, but you can see this game was candy RNG. This one was a bad RB pick. This one was yeah, we won't talk about those. And this one, well, you saw what happened. But anyways, if you guys do enjoy this kind of format, please let me know in the comments below. I do find that I'm able to kind of yap a lot longer and more consistently when I have my camera off. So that's kind of why we're doing this kind of format. But yeah, let me guys know what you think in the comments below. I really appreciate everybody watching, and we'll probably be doing more of these videos so that you guys can kind of come along for the legend grind and, you know, just stay along. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe so that you help me with the algorithm and not miss the next episode. And I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.